So, you've probably heard you need an emergency fund, right? But what does that even mean? Sometimes the whole idea can feel a bit abstract, or, let's be honest, kinda impossible. Okay, let's break this down with a simple story that's gonna make it all click. We're gonna explore what an emergency fund is and why it's so critical through a little tale of two very different brothers.
At the heart of this story, you've got two totally opposite ways of looking at the world. On one side, you have constant preparedness. The belief that the only way to get through life is to always be ready for whatever it throws at you. And on the other side, the lover of thrills, the person who lives for the moment, always chasing that next exciting thing. And these two philosophies, well, they're about to collide.
All right, let's set the scene. We're in a town called Shellville, and here live our two brothers. Luke, who is a meticulous planner, and Crook, the thrill-seeking spender who loves to live life right on the edge.
For Luke, this isn't just a saying. It's his entire worldview. He actually goes out of his way to avoid excitement because to him, the world is just one big, unpredictable place full of potential problems. He thinks survival isn't about being the strongest or the fastest. Nope, it's about being the most prepared. And this idea is going to be super important to our story.
Okay, now let's switch gears and talk about Crook. As you can probably guess, his love for thrills is about to get him into some serious trouble. That whole live-for-the-moment philosophy, it's about to be put to the test, big time. It all kicks off with an impulse buy. Crook sees this amazing, brand-new skateboard. And of course, he just has to have it. He drains his wallet, spends all his money on it, already imagining all the cool tricks he's about to pull off. That thrill is instant. So he's totally pumped, fueled by that new skateboard excitement, and he tries to pull off this really complicated trick he saw online. But there's a big difference between watching someone do something and, well, actually doing it. All it takes is one tiny mistake, just a split second where he loses his balance and his epic thrill ride comes to a very sudden, very painful stop.
And boom, there it is. The real-world cost of the unexpected. A broken arm and a doctor's bill for 50 shells. And that's not just a number, right? For someone who just spent every last shell on a skateboard, that's a full-blown financial crisis that you can't ignore.
So now Crook is in a real bind. He's hurt, he's totally broke, and he is completely desperate. He has absolutely nowhere else to go. So he goes to the one person he knows is always ready for a crisis, his brother, Luke, the ultimate planner. Crook lays it all out for his brother, and man, this probably sounds super familiar to a lot of us, right? He's like, look, after all my bills, there's just no money left to save. Plus, he complains, with inflation so high, any little bit he could save feels like it's just losing value anyway. And now, to top it all off, this 50-shell bill just appeared out of thin air.
Luke just listens, and then he drops this core principle of financial safety. He says the goal isn't just saving a little here and there. It's to build up a cushion, a fund that's equal to 3 to 6 months of your total living expenses. Think about it. Your rent, your bills, your food, everything you need for a month, and multiply that. And here's the most important part. You put that money somewhere separate and easy to get to, like a savings account, and then you pretend it doesn't exist. You forget about it. It's not just money. It's buying yourself peace of mind. It's a safety net.
But Crook's like, whoa, wait, how am I supposed to save 6 months of expenses when I can't even save a single shell right now? This is where Luke reveals the secret. It's this simple mental trick that changes everything, especially for people who feel like they can just never get ahead.
The whole concept is called pay yourself first, and it's all about flipping the script on how you think about saving. See, most of us think of savings as whatever's left over at the end of the month. With this, you treat your savings like it's your most important bill. It's not optional. It's the very first thing that gets paid. And here's how simple it is. First, the second you get paid, your paycheck, a birthday gift, whatever, you immediately move a little bit of it into your savings. It doesn't have to be a lot. Then comes the second part, and this is the tough part. You learn to live on what's left. Your lifestyle has to adapt to what's left after you save, not the other way around. And for Crook, this was a total light bulb moment. He realized his money problems weren't just about bad luck or the economy. They were about his choices. And he saw that changing his future wasn't about some huge lottery win. It was about getting something way more valuable, freedom from that constant financial stress.
And that, right there, is the big takeaway from this whole story. Building an emergency fund, creating real financial security for yourself, it doesn't start with a giant pile of cash. It starts with one small, consistent decision. The decision to pay yourself first every single time. It's a habit, not a windfall.
So the story of Luke and Crook really just leaves us with one question to ask ourselves. Because let's face it, we're all a little bit like Luke, and we're all a little bit like Crook. We all have our own version of an unexpected skateboard accident. The only question is, are you ready for yours?